One of the things that you unearthed in your research was a book by Martin's father, Daddy King. I'm curious about their relationship from the time that Martin became a young pastor to up until his death. How did their relationship morph and change, or did it? Or did it remain the same?
It's a fascinating relationship. The push and pull there. Bayard Rustin said that Martin Luther King was always scared of his father. Never outgrew that fear, and his father was a tough guy. Was really demanding. It was a disciplinarian who spanked his kids, and his father grew up in a sharecropper shack in Stockbridge, Georgia, and just wanted his kids to do better. But sometimes he got a little, maybe carried away. And King's mother was a sweet, dear, warm, loving person, and Daddy King was much harder. You can see a lot of King's Martin Luther King Jr.'s personality comes from both of his parents. Clearly, the forceful side, the rebellious side, comes from his dad. But Daddy King didn't want his son to be a preacher at first, didn't want him to get involved as an activist, didn't want him to be in the front, felt like it was too dangerous, didn't want him to be leading the Montgomery bus boycott. Over and over again, when King's life is threatened, Daddy King is there saying, you got to stop this, come home, put yourself, in a safer position. And Martin Luther King, who has a hard time ever saying no to his father, manages to just say, well, we'll talk about it later, and keeps doing what he's doing. And, it's one thing to stand up to Bull Connor in Birmingham. It's another thing to stand up to your father. In some ways, it's harder. And I think King had a really hard time standing up to his old man.